ます。天使なんでね。頑張ります。天使なんでね。
Good night, everyone. It's been a while since I last streamed. Yeah, sorry for the two cancellation of the streams during Wednesday and Thursday. It's because finals were that week. So yeah, just a lot of a hectic week because of the projects and the things needed to do. We also initiated a webinar. It's something a student initiated webinar, which is quite something indeed. Since first and foremost, I'm not truly expecting a webinar, especially in a public space. So though I'm not complaining, it was fun, although I'm mostly quieter. But yeah, the webinar was quite fun, but there's also the modeling. I despise modeling. I hate modeling. It's so annoying to deal with, especially since I crammed for this week. Though, yeah, with that said, I won't be surprised if my grades are kind of on the borderline bad. Well, to be honest, I really don't care much about the grades anymore. Guess that's part of growing up. Anyways, I'll stream Narcissu 1 again. But this time, I'll also have drinks. Sunmig Light and some soju. Strawberry flavor. With that said, I'm too lazy to take a picture and show it at the screen. Oh boy. Hopefully nothing bad will happen on the stream. We'll see about that, especially my emotions. But yeah, let's go to that. I also bought a snack. So it's just some trolley. It's a cola star strips to satiate my taste bud, since I don't want to be much more on the alcohol side. Anyways, let's see. Yes, it's visible now. Let me just crop it a bit so it's much cleaner. There we go. Oops. Out in the world, it was in the middle of what it was called examination season. As always, the two of us were watching the television today. It's boring, isn't it?
そうね。
Indeed. An exchange that couldn't even be called a conversation. There were days where the two of us only passed the time meaninglessly. Speaking of which, for you, when was it?
今日よ。
Today? I see. No, wait. I'm sure I... Wait, let's go... Load... Around... Same thing of this time. Yeah, I'm that this... got a bit confused. Yes, I'll open the can now, so be right back. Sorry for the background noise. Anyway, here it is. Here it is, the sound. So this is just the light version. Well, to be honest, Sunmig is quite a weak. Although it is a beer, so beers are generally tend to be weak. So, anyways, cheers to everyone who will watch soon. It's been a while since I last drink. I got soju to strengthen the drink, to strengthen my alcohol intake. So, January 19, 2005, Ibaraki Mito Highway. Around when that so very high sun was turning orange. We continued to drive, simply at random. The car continued running. And then, when the area turned into an unfamiliar place, I'm stopping for a bit. Finally, I brought the car to a stop. Outside of the city area, by the roadside somewhere, a lonely place that didn't seem to have much traffic. Stopping the car in a place you didn't even know the name of. For now, I started inspecting the interior. There were things that would even be the slightest bit useful. We had rushed out without any preparation, but I could see that we would be in trouble very soon. While thinking about that, first, I searched the dashboard in front of me. There really isn't much, is there? Just a few hundred yen worth of what appeared to be changed from the expressways. The rest were just a few books of manga and a disposable camera. It's kind of cute how my model follows the way I eat the snack. It wasn't like we had a destination, but it seemed that even the navigation system installed in the car was broken. And also, the amount of money I had was about 8,000 yen. While leaving, I'd hurriedly stuffed that much into my pocket. With that, and adding in the change in front of me, it could barely make 9,000 yen. Of course, it wasn't like I had been expecting to find anything in the car from the start. But with this budget, we'd probably be in trouble really soon. I could definitely believe that we wouldn't find decent lodging. Even so, I doubt that the girl had any money. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. Oh well, it didn't matter. I should have known this from the start. To begin with, it wasn't like we had thought of arrangements or plans before acting. Instead of that, right now, I wanted to move. I didn't want to sit still. Under the now darkening sky, once again the silver coupe ran. By the way, are you hungry? As I drove, I spoke to the one sitting next to me. Thinking about it, we hadn't eaten since this morning. For now, let's go to a convenience store. No. Hey, don't be so picky. Compared to the 7th floor's food, it absolutely has to be better. At my words, the girl returned silence. Those downcast eyes Their line of sight was on the pink pajamas that she wore. Ah, now that you say it, that's right. As I spoke down at my own clothes, it wasn't like there was no problem inside the car either. For now, we had to do something about these clothes. Making that decision, I turned the wheel from the main road and headed into town. After running a while, the place that we came to was some street I didn't know the name of. Surely it must be near some station since it was a street where about that number of people could be seen. In a place like this, you'd think there'd be one. While glancing around the area searching, I moved the car on, slightly raising my body in the seat while driving. Found it. In a short while, I spotted a coin-operated laundromat. It appeared quite run down and was in the first floor of a small apartment. This place might be just perfect. A short distance away from the entrance, I parked the car. Alright, just wait a bit. Slam. Leaving the girl who was making a puzzle face, I headed to the coin-op laundromat on foot. Just past the automatic doors, my nose picked up the scent of bleach and detergent. Inside it was just as rundown as the exterior, filled with old washing machines and dryers. There's no one around. I muttered that in the empty shop. There, raising a low sound while spinning, was a single unit in use. Quickly approaching that machine, I started to check the timer. It looked like 200 yen had been inserted and it was set for 30 minutes. Also, it had been going for only 5 minutes. Most likely, until it was about done, the person was passing time somewhere. Coming to that conclusion, once again from the entrance, I looked around for someone that seemed like that sort of person. Then, making sure that no one was in sight, I placed my hands on that revolving dryer's door. And suddenly opened it. Opened in the middle of a drying cycle, the machine was poured into a stop temporarily. Ignoring the blast of heat and moist air, I took out a mass of half-dry clothing from inside. Excuse me. Then, carrying it just like that in both hands, I looked around once more before I put the shop behind me. Click, slam. Seeing both of my hands filled with laundry, the girl raised a bit of a surprised voice. However, paying no heed to that, I threw them into the back seat. Well, we're going. With one hand on the wheel, I eyed the pile of laundry I had thrown in the back. At a glance, there it was, all flashy looking jeans and sweatshirts. All the sizes seemed to be on the large side. They were still wet, but inside the car, with the heat from the vents, they'd probably be dry soon. Later, change into whatever you want. There was no particular reply to those words either. She simply eyed the pile of laundry. Well, what else could we do? I know. Even for me, it wasn't like I did this because I liked it. Plus, while the money we had wasn't being held for any particular purpose. With what we had immediately on hand, buying new clothes would have been a tight situation. When the face of the moon really came out and we had driven for a while, I stopped the car near some park somewhere. It was most likely some kind of children's park, tucked in the middle of a residential neighborhood. In the middle of that, I began to search through the clothes stolen earlier. Most likely because of the heating in the car, the laundry was totally dry. Looks like it really is all guys' stuff. Exactly as when I had glanced at them, it was all gaudy jeans and sweats. Most likely it was someone about my age, and size-wise something close. And then, while still sitting in the driver's seat, I grabbed a pair of suitable jeans and sweatshirt and started to change. Hey, you changed into something too. They're all too big. Then, you're going to always be in pajamas? Alright. Can't reply. The girl took hold of a pair of jeans and opened the door. Hey, where are you going? To change. With just that answer, she began walking towards the restroom that could be seen in the parka just ahead. Hey there, that was quick. In moments, the girl returned. The pink pajamas that she had been wearing up until now was in her hand. She had changed into jeans and a white sweatshirt. Well, it's good that you managed to put something on. Satsumi. There was no reply. It was something I saw coming. The size was too much and draped rather heavily on her. Since the jeans were too long, the legs were rolled up in a number of times. Meanwhile, the top sweatshirt was folded over in the same way. Satsumi. The pajamas were better. Well, don't say that. It's a bit warmer this way. Satsumi. At my words, she gave me just the slightest dissatisfied look. I guess something more feminine would have been better. Not particularly. Her usual response. Even though I had thought she was satisfied with the poofy sweatshirt, soon she returned to being expressionless. Suddenly, it started raining. As if it had forgotten how to stop, rain spilled from the cold January sky. Looking from inside the car, countless raindrops on the windshield. One by one, they will grow too big to stick A number would gather, overflow, and turn into a rivulet. Then, while flowing down, they would involve other rivulets and flow even more. The two of us just sat, gazing at the train from inside the car. In some parking lot somewhere, a lonely place in the mountains. Having finished shopping at a convenience store, we were spending the night. On the menu for each of us was 2 rice bowls, 500 milliliters of Pocari, and half of an order of rice. It's been a while since having this stuff, right? Satsumi. With one hand holding the convenience store rice bowl, the girl murmured. Thinking about it normally, it wasn't all that splendid, but compared to the food on the 7th floor, it was good enough. And then, when both of us reached out towards the price, suddenly, the girl's hand stopped. Something wrong? Satsumi. Not particularly. While answering, her line of sight turned towards the whitely fogged windshield. There, by the roadside, a number of white flowers could be seen. Narcissus. White flowers soaked by the rain. I didn't know whether they were planted by someone or were there naturally. But those flowers seemed familiar. Those were Narcissus? Satsumi. Narcissus. Daffodils. Those were daffodils. I didn't know too much about plants and all, but daffodils. I'd at least heard the name before. And I also recalled that even though the girl would normally speak if only rarely, she would uncharacteristically join in conversations on this topic. That's why I went along and continued to speak. And I guess these are also different from those two? Satsumi. Strictly speaking, they're different. They're quite earth things then, aren't they? Satsumi. Not particularly. They're everywhere. Everywhere, like where? Satsumi. For me, it wasn't like I put very much meaning in the statement. It was indeed intended simply from the flow of conversation as a natural question. And yet, she thought for a moment. And yet, then she slowly opened her mouth. Satsumi. West. Satsumi. Awajishima is famous. Wait. Awajishima, you mean? Just how far away do you think that is from here? For someone who had only just started driving like me, I couldn't even make a guess. Most likely, it was easily around 700 kilometers, even using the expressways. I couldn't even begin to estimate the time it would take. First, considering our funds, it certainly didn't seem enough. Even if we stayed off the expressways and used the smaller roads, the cost of gasoline itself seemed ominous. Look, Don't say unreasonable things now. There's no way we could go to such a place, right? Satsumi? Satsumi? Who said anything about wanting to go? Satsumi. I was asked, so I simply answered. With just that answer, the girl once again gazed beyond the windshield at those flowers. The glass inside the car, cold from the rain, was fogged white. She cast her gaze beyond even that. It's not like I wanted to go there either. Just me, I was chewing. However, it also it also not it's also not like if we had another place to go. Chapter 3 Maps. Guess
時間
let's
の止まった私。
the Miho's time has stopped. Only increasing my knowledge, simply increasing the number, meaningless values, simply desiring only information from the television screen. Eventually, reality grew faded, turned hollow.
でも地図を見るのは好きだった。
But I like looking at maps. Cars and trains, things that would take me places. I like them. Spreading maps upon the narrow bed, connecting route after route, connecting. Sedans, coupes, convertibles. I also rode on many different kinds of cars. That ever continuing Route 1, I ran all the way to the distant end of it. Indigo blue sky, beautiful shoreline. I ran all the way to the places painted in my dreams. Gently going around the curve shaded by a cape, under the burning sunlight, dashing on a brilliant white beach. If I just close my eyes, I could go anywhere. Scenery that I had never seen before would float before me as I thought about lands that I would never be able to go.
無意味にただ知識だけを増やした。
Without any meaning, I simply increased my knowledge.
虚しく憧れだけを募らせた。
Hollowly, I accumulated only yearning. January 21, 2005. A sky over the rain had let up. Flowing by at an amazing speed. High clouds. From the ground, the still damp asphalt gave a distinctive sha noise. Within all that, as always, we continued driving on. Without a destination, simply just driving on. It wasn't like we were headed to the Awajishima that we had spoken about last night. For one thing, was a problem before that. We probably didn't have the gasoline money. While pondering about that, I continued driving straight along the unknown road. But where was this, I wonder? Suddenly, I wound up thinking about it. I wasn't all that good with geography to begin with, but all the place names were ones I had never seen before. I had been driving fairly carefully, but with the navigation system dead, I knew even less. Before I knew it, I was peering at the signs in the area while I drove. I don't really know.
何
What? Hmm? No, just wondering where this is. The girl spoke to me when I looked around, and I gave a simple reply. Well, most likely, even if I asked her, she wouldn't have known.
入間よ。埼玉県の
Iroma of Saitama Prefecture.
次の交差点を右に行けば16号線。八王子へ出るわ。
At the next intersection, if you go right, Route 16, you'll go at to Hachioji. You know? Did you live here before?
別にそんなんじゃないわよ。
Not particularly. It's not that. That was a surprise. No, instead of surprising, why she knew so much was mysterious. No matter how you look, she didn't seem the type to get in a car and go around. Then, maybe. From here to that place, Awajishima, you know the way?
質問の意味がわからない。
I don't understand what your question means. Well, you see, without getting on the expressway, we might be able to get there using only the smaller roads, right? Look, the gasoline costs, our money might be enough after all.
あなた行きたいの？
Do you want to go? No, it's not like I meant that, but
じゃあ聞かないで。
then don't ask. With those final words, the girl once again fell silent. In her usual cold way, she remained staring out the window. I had the feeling that what those eyes were looking at was not the scenery flowing by before her, but a much farther place. Those words from before, don't ask. Just what did they mean, I wonder. If I had answered that I planned on going, what would she have answered? Without a destination, we simply traveled. From the start, we hadn't any plans or schedule. Simply, we just hated both the 7th floor and our shallow homes. But for me, at the least just for me, it didn't matter what. I probably wanted something to give me direction. January 22, 2005. It's cold, isn't it?
そうね。
Indeed. Some beach I didn't know the name of. When I noticed, we were headed out toward the sea. I'd intended to head west, but it seemed at some point I wound up heading south. A beach with a pitch black sky and a strong, cold wind. The two of us left the car and stood gazing at the dark sea. As always, the girl looked far away with a downcast stare at where the black sky and sea merged at the horizon. And then, after watching the sea for a while, slowly, she began walking to the water's edge.
どうなると思う？
Say, what do you think would happen? And I don't understand the meaning of your question.
楽に死ねると思う。このまま海に入っていくと。
Do you think I would die comfortably if I went out into the sea like this? Her back was still turned to me, words as she continued walking to the water's edge. The third time was the last. There is no fourth. Probably it will come to picking between the seventh floor and home. It seems no one has escaped that. Those were words that the girl had once passed to me. And she was on her second and had said that she wanted neither home nor the seventh floor. Already, this was after she had passed it to me. Already, her task was over. That was why I figured it meant that. Who knows? I've never drowned before.
じゃあもしも今私が海に入っていったなら
Then, if right now I were to go into the sea,
あなた止める？
would you stop me? Placing the moon floating in the pitch black while speaking, she turned around and looked at my face, placing the moon floating in the pitch black sky to her back. The gaze that was always looking at some faraway place was looking straight at me. I didn't know, not until that time.
そうよね。
Indeed. And then, turning her back to me, and once again facing the sea, she slowly took a step forward. Hey, you.
何？
What? Is it that you want me to stop you? At my words, the girl stopped just a few steps before the breaking waves. The strong wind misted up the spray from the waves, striking her feet. If you want me to stop you, I'll stop you.
別にそんなんじゃないわよ。
Not particularly. It's not that. Then, I don't have to stop you, right? For that question, there was no reply either. However, the fit to stop did not go further. That was why I thought that was her reply. Hi, A sky that could only be found in winter. Stained heart, stained heart-wrenchingly blue, with a strong wind that whistled across the elevated rail line. Reflecting that blue sky was the metallic hood of the running silver coupe. I was gripping the steering wheel and she sat in her usual way in the passenger seat. Where this was, I didn't know, but was a more real problem. In moments we were going to run out of gasoline. We hadn't had that much money to begin with, but from purchases at convenience stores, our remaining funds were even less now. Now, there was only 7,000 yen. Of course, I didn't know how many liters this car took, but I thought we probably had enough to fill the tank once. It wasn't as if we had a destination or anything, but losing our legs would mean we would be stuck. I'll go get some gas.
そう
You see. While speaking, I turned the wheel and headed toward the gas station in front of us. Welcome. Will it be credit card or cash? With cash. Will it be regular or high octane? Regular? High octane? I didn't really understand. Of course, when it came to this car, there were lots of things that I didn't know. But since I had only just gotten my license, I knew very little about this sort of thing in general. Which shall it be? I hesitated to speak while the part-time clerk waited for my answer from the other side of the window. And just when I was about to say it didn't matter, the girl in the passenger seat spoke.
レギュラーよ
Regular. Yes, regular. Yes, regular cash full tank. Will that be alright? Yes, please. Yes, certainly. With a cheerful reply, the attendant began to skillfully pump the gasoline. From the window open about 10 centimeters came the distasteful smell of gasoline. Hey, regular is fine for this? At the question, the girl remained silent. Instead, she quietly pointed at the price listing on the pump. Of course, this was the cheaper one. I didn't really know much about this, but I didn't think there was that much difference. And then there was the meter on the gas pump before my eyes reporting the amount used. 25, 26, 27, 28. That digital display was counting up ferociously. Did I screw up? Looking at those numbers, I began to get nervous. Just before, I unwound up saying full tank on a whim, but the amount of money we had on hand wasn't all that much. Putting together all the change, it was about 7,000 yen, and of course, I had no idea how large this car's tank was. If there wasn't enough money, what would happen? Going by the price list shown, I believe we had enough for about 60 liters, but 38, 39, 40, 41. Even now, the meter was counting up without slowing down. Under normal conditions, it would have been something I wouldn't have worried about, but as I continued watching, I grew more and more nervous. Damn it, it's still going? Before I knew it, the words stumbled out.
大丈夫よもう止まるわ
It's okay, it'll stop now.
これ50リッターだから
This is a 50 liter. Just as he said, when the meter was between 47 and 48, it stopped. Following that, the sound of a receipt being printed ran out, and once again, The part-time clerk came back. Thank you for waiting. It comes to 5,240 yen. Here. For my pocket, I took out and handed over a 5,000 yen bill with a crumpled 1,000 yen bill. Here's your change of 760 yen and your receipt. We shall open the soju now. Strawberry flavor. Smells like strawberry. What am I expecting? It's strawberry flavor, so. That's me. I drank straight from the glass since I don't have any cups or shot glass. Thank you very much. Putting the clerk's bright voice behind us, I once again pulled the car out into the road before us. Once again, the silver coupe ran. With this, I felt the urgent fear of the gas tank to be gone for the moment. And now, our remaining funds was just about 2,000 yen. I was also worried about that, but I was also curious about what happened just before. Hey, are you? Could it be that you know a lot about cars?
別に
Not particularly. Not particularly. Did you just say this was a 50-liter before? Of course, this much might just have been a guess or something that was common knowledge. However, previously, she had also known about the roads. Also nagged by that fact. I took out the car registration at dashboard. You would of course know this car's name, right?
それは質問
Is that a question? Well, you can think of it as a quiz.
インテグラタイプ R クーペ
Integra Type R Coupe. That's correct. And the specs?
99年式高速ミッション最高出力200馬力
99 model, 5-speed transmission, maximum output 200 horsepower. I hadn't thought that she would really answer. My eyes couldn't help but follow the words on the registration in my hand as the girl flatly continued speaking.
全長4380全幅1695総排気量 1797cc
Total length 4,380 millimeters. Total width 1,695 millimeters. General displacement 1,797 cc.
まだ言うの
Do you want me to go on? No, that's enough. Correct. As I replied, I returned the registration to its place. Unbelievably, all the specs were exactly as recorded. It was very much something that I didn't think could be memorized if asked why someone would. I couldn't begin to imagine. But right before my eyes, this girl answered. I'll switch some snacks because yeah, this one is too sweet. My mouth is not liking it. Moreover, considering the roads and flowers from before, I can't believe that she knew about a wide variety of things. Hey, why do you know so much?
別にあなたより年上だからよ。
No particular reason. It's because I'm older than you. With just that answer, once again she fell silent. Gazing out the window, she didn't give up an air of that she would answer any new questions I raised. Older. It really didn't look it, but those were also the girl's words from before. Name Satsumi, blood type O. Those were the words written on her white vinyl bracelet. And she seemed to be older. That was the little information I knew of her. Around when the sun was slowly setting, the silver coupe continued running. Without a destination, without a place it needed to go, just simply moving forward. The issue of gasoline was fine, but the remaining money had mostly disappeared. Even counting the change, it was about 2,000 yen. Thinking in terms of buying meals at the convenience stores, it would last about 3 or 4 days. Hey, what shall we do from now on?
質問の意味がわからない。
I don't understand the meaning of your question. I mean, we don't have much money left.
だから
And so, you. The girl was as she always had been. She spoke while bringing the rice bowl, just bought from the convenience store, to her mouth. And also, just by continuing to drive like this, without a doubt, the gasoline was being used up. Honestly speaking, doing nothing, just standing still might have been better. However, doing nothing, being unable to do anything, just standing still was painful. While thinking that, I kept driving. From previous experience, when driving on the smaller roads, it was about just 3 days before the gasoline ran out. The remaining 2,000 yen used to buy food from the convenience store was similarly 3 or 4 days worth. Clearly the end of things was coming into sight. Hey, you. That place, Awajishima, was it? You want to go there? There was no reply. Just the usual gazing out the window, as always.
あなたは私を愛してるの？
As always.
私はあなたを愛してる。
As always.
私はあなたを愛してる。
As always. 私はあなたを愛してる。 As always. 私はあなたを愛してる。
私はあなたを愛してる。
item, might want to go a bit, maybe. Why? Well, that's... Of course, we hadn't flashed out of the 7th floor with goals or plans to begin with. That was why, for me, going west, east, or wherever it was, it didn't matter. I was sure any place would have been fine. I just wanted some goal or destination. When the day completely turned into night, I was in some pachinko parlor's parking lot. Of course, I wasn't planning on making money off pachinko or slots. Fun nice raider revolt. Salutations. Just dropping by to say hi. Gotta sleep early. Thank you for coming by. Anyways, I'm currently drinking while playing Narcissu. So yeah. Though I'm not tipsy at all, I'm still fine. Currently drunk San Miguel Light. This is a beer and soju, strawberry flavor. Also have snack. Of course, I wasn't planning on making money off pachinko or slots. With this measly 2,000 yen, I knew I didn't stand a chance. Drink responsibly now. You wouldn't want that to happen. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Plus, I'm not the type that gets drunk easily. I need to consume quite a heavy amount of alcohol to be drunk. I'm not lightweight, don't worry. However, if it were just 10 or 20,000 yen, it should be easy to steal that much. That was from my previous travels to pachinko parlors, I guess. With just that much, for the moment we will be fine. And we might even be able to get to that Awajishima. That was why I spoke up at my plan to the girl. How about it? Want to try?
Yeah.
No? I see. Alright. It was what was expected, but I was plainly refused. From the start, it wasn't as if I was expecting anything from the girl. It wasn't as if I had sought out her help. Explaining my plans to her was more like a declaration. Well then, wait a bit. Leaving her in the car, I walked towards the pachinko parlor alone. Inside the unexpectedly crowded shop, there were a number of machines, ball dispensers, and a fair amount of people here. Here and there were also a number of stock cash boxes. It might be just right. Making that decision, I headed toward the slot corner that was my target. After a while, scouting from the aisles, from examining the area, I found one machine. Some middle-aged man who definitely looked like an office worker had stuck 4 boxes by his feet. Above his head, another 2 were stuck. Moreover, it was a corner machine, and the neighboring machines were empty. From what I had seen from before, he also didn't seem to have come with friends or acquaintances. The conditions were lined up. Most likely, in that state, even if one box by his feet were stolen, he wouldn't notice right away. If it was like similar shops, it would be worth some to 20,000 yen. If he had just that much, I simply waited intently for the office worker-like person to head to the restroom. Eventually, about when 30 minutes had passed, finally, the man stood up from his seat. Quickly, following after, I went to the restroom to make sure. Then in a rush, I quickly returned to the slot machine. Next, while checking on the people who were playing on the slots and the shop stuff, I slowly approached the machine. Then, in order to avoid suspicion, acting perfectly natural, I pulled up a cash box at my feet. To be honest, I still don't know why at this specific scenario, I also get embarrassed. I guess it's a sympathy for the protagonist. At that instant, a tremendous sound raised as the slot coins scattered on the floor. Pulled it up was the plan. No, I definitely raised it up once with these hands. However, unable to support the weight, I wound up dropping the entire box on the floor. And then, all eyes looked over wondering what caused the loud racket. I thought I heard the sound of voices, like the presence of people running over. However, those voices were heard from behind me. Already, by that time, I was 2 meters in front of the shop exit. Lam, pant, pant. Starting the engine in a big rush, I slammed on the gas. Turning the wheel, I hurriedly pulled the car out. At that time, bang, scrape, scrape. Yeah. Maybe because I had driven up onto a curb or something. Just then, I wound up roaring the rear. That nasty scraping sound was the body scraping on something. However, there wasn't time to worry about that. I drove out onto the road in front of us. Phew. While rubbing my chest, which was almost out of breath, I drove Silver Coupe along the now totally dark road. I was a bit worried about the spot that was hit before, but for now, getting away from that place had priority. Eventually, driving about 10 minutes, about when we were totally clear of the pachinko parlor, I stopped the car by some roadside and began inspecting the place that was hit earlier.
大丈夫？
Is it okay? Yeah, it's probably nothing major. From the passenger seat, The girl called to me sounding just a tiny bit worried. As I inspected the damaged area, I answered. From the looks of it, the rear bumper was slightly dented and the muffler's tip was a bit cracked. With just this, there probably wouldn't be a problem driving. Phew. Feeling relief, I let out a sigh. So close. Immediately, I recalled the events in the pachinko parlor. I'd failed with just a little bit more to go. But if I did it well, the next time I thought I could succeed. I figured that even though I hadn't been able to carry the cash box, that was only because I hadn't lifted heavy things in a while. If I were prepared from the start, I could probably manage. That's him. You're being mistaken. Eh? The you know should be different from the you know before. The girl's words were as if she had seen clear through me. But with just that much weight.
同じように考えない方がいい。
You shouldn't think of it as being the same. Most likely, what she was saying was right. I didn't want to admit it, but the me now was different from the me from before. Certainly, with my strength reduced by this much, it was hard to believe I would succeed. Then, what should I do? To that question, there came no answer. Just quiet gazing at the dark sky beyond the window. Was that telling me to give up? Emerald Sea. Chapter 4, Emerald Sea.
時間を止め、心を止めて。
Stopping time, stopping my heart.
情報だけを積み重ねる日々。
Days of simply gathering knowledge. Days of gazing at maps, closing my eyes, traveling to unknown towns. One day, on a monthly magazine I always bought, my eyes stopped on a photo decorating the back cover. It was a female model wearing a flashy swimsuit. She out at the water's edge with that sort of pose. With the emerald sea I always saw in my dreams behind her back. She was smiling. I was sure we were around the same age. With that exceptional figure, happy and relaxed, directing a smile at me. I don't think I was particularly envious. For one thing, I didn't have a swimsuit and didn't even have an urgent need for one. For me, if I had pajamas, that was enough.
いくつもの季節を白い梅雨空を 誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした。
Numerous seasons, white overcast skies, passed without even the need to exchange words with anyone. That day, first year of middle school in June, the first day I was admitted into the hospital. I remember that I had ordered a swimsuit. I recalled the swimsuit from a number of years from before. I remember the swimsuit that had lost its debut that day. Taken out of the drawer for the first time in years, a school swimsuit that was still brand new. Taking off my usual pajamas, nervously, I put on that blue swimsuit. It was a perfect fit. Even though how many years had passed, it fit as if just now I had ordered it. Towards my figure, the monthly magazine's model directed her smiling face at me. Smiled with the emerald sea at her back. With that exceptional figure, happy and relaxed, directing a smile at me. That was saddening. I didn't think I was particularly envious. However, to be honest, I really might have admired her. Because I knew that it was impossible, I might have yearned for it even more so.
だけど、胸の大きな傷跡が諦めろと諭した。
But the large scar on my chest advised me to give up.
生涯の伴侶は目を閉じた世界にしろと諭した。
My lifelong companion told me to make do with the world in my closed eyes. January 22, 2005. When the sun slowly slanted, staining the western sky orange. As always, we continued to drive. What should we do now? Our money was for the most part tight.
ねえあなた、
Say, you. When I was thinking about that, surprisingly, the girl spoke to me. Satsumi, you can go take baths. Right now, outside of long baths, I haven't been told to stop. Satsumi. I see. Something similar to me then. What she was saying was probably whether the doctors have stopped me from taking baths or not. Especially for kidney and digestive disorders, where their tubes were used. Baths were often banned. Thinking about it that way, at the least, the girl probably had a circulatory problem like I did. What? Did you want to go take a bath?
悪い。
Problem? No, I want to take one also. Even so, financially speaking, stopping at a hostel or hotel was out of the question. Hold on, shall we look for a bathhouse someplace?
銭湯？
Bathhouse? Yeah, something like that. We still have money for.
やっぱり
On second thought, I'm fine. But you're fine? Since that day when we left from the 7th floor, 3 days had already passed. There, bathing was done twice a week, and in order to wipe the body, each day there were two warm sponge baths. Well, because of the season, didn't sweat and we were mostly in the car, so didn't particularly get dirty. But finally emptied this soju bottle. Slightly tipsy. Since it's also been a while since I drank. Is it that you're embarrassed about the bathhouse and so you don't want to go?
別にそんな意味じゃないわよ。
Not particularly. I didn't mean that. But the sun had completely set, and the large moon showed its face in the sky. After that, driving for a while, I found a place that looked like a school somewhere. Here might be just right. I stopped the car on the roadside near the entrance. Then, I began fishing through that mass of laundry that had been left in the back seat. I was sure there were 2 or 3 towels, so pushing aside the clothes that didn't matter, I took up what felt like a towel. It had the words Shirai Easy Construction printed on it, most likely some marketing thing, as it was a shabby towel. Well, wait a bit. Holding 2 of the shabby towels, I headed to the school in front of us. Climbing over the closed gate, I peered around the area for the place I was looking for. Ah, there it is. After a while, I found the faucet that I was looking for. It was probably there for the gardens. Turning the faucet, the water flowed out strongly, cold enough that it felt like it would cut through you. Then, I wet the towels and firmly wrung them out. Sorry for the wait here. Taking one of the 2 damp towels in my hand, I gave one of them to a friend. My mother used to do this when I was a child, and you currently had, and during that time I had a sickness that was so bad. I mean, yeah, that time when I was like grade 6, or in a current age will be like, let me just count for it. yes, when I was at around 12 years old, I was stricken by a really bad sickness. I think it was called dengue, and I know it was quite fatal. At that time, I was just lying on my bed, and my mother wiped away the sweat I had, since I was in a terrible pain that time, and my body was hot, very hot. But yeah, after that, I was just waiting for. I was absent at that time for like a week, an entire week. I didn't go to school because of my sickness. Then around that week, I remember that I vomited so bad. Yeah, I vomited like as if it suddenly sprung up out of nowhere. I vomited. I accidentally kicked my mother because I was hurrying to the bathroom. That was quite I wouldn't say fun, but I wouldn't say sad as well, because that was a memory that really hit me. Plus, because of the fact that at that time before I got the sickness, I was quite on the chubby side. Like literally chubby, with my cheeks slightly swollen and have fats. But after that entire week, I don't even know why I well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't know that why I got sick, but I wouldn't know the part where I think I didn't eat most of the time, and uh, I can't really recall it, but I know that the wait, be right back. I'm gonna go get more drinks because yeah, it's not enough for me. I got another can of sandwich. Oh yeah. Let me just drink for a bit. So yeah, where was I? Alright. Um so before, as I said earlier, before I was quite chubby, quite on the heavy side. I think my estimate is current around 64, 65, something around that area. Kilograms. My weight is, but I'm not sure since it's related to height. But if given today, which my height is 169 centimeters, 1.69 meters, then it should total around, before when I was chubby, it should total around 164 or 70, around that range. But after I got the dengue, Again, I don't know if dengue is a international word or just some random one or just a local thing from Philippines. Nope, it's not. It's a international thing. Anyway, so after a week, I got cured. I got healed. I remembered this eating. No, not eating. Drinking some really bitter stuff. It's a mix of like. It's a mix of very bitter plants, I say, and as well as taking a bath with some herbal leaves from I forgot what kind of herbal leaves it is, but I'm sure that it, but I know that it turns the water into brown. So I remember being so delicious. Not delicious, so grossed out with the drink. Herbal drink, I would say. And I still remember my mother saying that, quote unquote, in English, since it was in Tagalog. My mother said, "You will die if you don't drink this." So I got afraid after that, so I drink it without any hesitation. But not hesitation, but some compromise. Yeah, compromise. I know that my face crumpled up while drinking it. Plus also the drink looks gross as well, which is a more of a negative points for me, but I think it's quite helpful since it cured me, that's for sure. And after that incident where my sickness got cured, I know that my appetite decreased. When I meant decreased, like a total decrease, since when I went to grade 7, around a year after, my weight very much decreased. Like from around 65 to 70, I became from 45, 46, 45, 46 around that weight. Which is, I'm not sure, it's quite concerning since nobody told me that it should be. But yeah. It's, how do I say this? It's kind of difficult, yeah. And after that year, grade 7 to grade 10, I'm sorry if this becomes like an excuse to play the game while telling my personal story, but it's just something that I really want to get out of my heart. That's also, it's my first time sharing it in real life. Also, since the last time, I'm kind of difficult to share it because my emotions are quite difficult to unravel. my I'm not definitely accurate about this, but when I try to share it to my family, I'm difficult. It's like my words become stuck. So if my family ever watches this, hopefully that in this here, in a form of storytelling, they will know this, the reality of things, the full story, because I haven't told them everything about my difficulties. So as I was saying, at grade 7 to grade 10, I was having difficulties. I would say, well, it's not difficulties. It's mostly because of it's mostly because of depression. Yeah. During grades 7 to 8, the that's when depression started coming up to me. Oh, it's fine if there's no one watching, since currently the viewers are 0 and likes 0. But it's fun for me. If you're watching this at a later date, then it's okay to share it. But I preferred not to, because yeah, it's a little bit, it's quite personal. And I would like to let new viewers know to know that things are like, to know my personal circumstances by themselves instead of being told by others. So it's fine if you're just watching this on a later date. As I was saying, the depression thing. Yeah, around grade 7 to 8, I got depression. At that time, I didn't know that I had one. I had that kind of symptom, but they always assume that it's not always, it's mostly my fault for having that condition, that problem. And as days go on by that time, I keep thinking about some dark thoughts about ending everything, ending life, ending myself. Yeah. At that time, it was a dark moment for me, a dark period. And since it was quite difficult for me to share those kind of feelings, I'm also afraid to share it to my friends, to my friends, about my situation, because I'm afraid that they will abandon me. At that time I was in such a precarious state that my thoughts are confused between my friends and myself. I always assume that they would abandon me without a second thought. It's not because that when I share this they will abandon me. It's because that I guess my reliance on them is too heavy for them, I guess. I don't want to rely on others, and I want to rely on myself and myself only. And that's one of my creeds. And because of that, I don't want to share my problems to others. I kept saying that I'm always fine, I'm good, everything is okay, etc. I won't really share my problems. I keep avoiding, and even if they suspect something, I always keep avoiding it since I'm not confident at sharing my problems, my situation, my thoughts. Yeah, I'm afraid to share it to them since my thoughts would assume that they will abandon me and such. And during that time, around grade 9 to 10, my thoughts escalated quite a bit. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say in a detailed manner since, yeah, YouTube. YouTube, I'm afraid that they would, yeah, demonetize, though apparently at this stage I'm not really that bothered, but I don't want to share it here since it's a little bit too close to my heart, and yeah. But during the time around grade 10 to 11, summer break, I met with a community that was very that was very supportive of me and advices for them that I really love to follow. But yeah, I followed anyway, so my wording is quite off. Their support is quite helpful for me. It's if you were at that era, Tsukimiya Reina, a virtual YouTuber. That's when I discovered this community. Well, I was also a founding member of the community, so during that time, I'm really not sure if I should trust them or and such, and that's when the beginning of the server. And after that, we have been through ups and downs. Her graduation, resurrection, Utarizumu, graduation again, resurrection, Shironoten in graduation, and even to this day, I'm still not sure if she would come back, but really want to. I want. I really want her to come back since she's the one who gave me life and meaning to this life as well. Because I really remember deep in my mind, in it's engraved at that time when she was playing, what's that game called? Stardew Valley, where she got lost at a forest. I was commenting a random comment, and I swear it was that this quote unquote this became a horror game real quick in Japanese, since she can only read Japanese. That she read that comment, and at that time she made my whole day life, I think. And after that, I kept doing fan arts of her. I mean, I will still do to this day, since I'm planning on her birthday. And to this day, I did a fan art of her. I'm not sure if I will show it here. Let's see. At that time, I was making a fan art of her. I was not expecting anything at all. Really nothing at all. But let's see this one. Let me just hear. I'm really not proud of it because I think it's quite lame. And at the time, I was just starting to become an artist, illustrator. Let me just change it. Yeah, as I said, at the time, I'm really not proud of it. But since this is my first work, did among others, and even to this day, still think it's quite bad. But during that time, she praised me for it. She praised me how pretty it is, how beautiful it is. That's why she made my life. I guess at that time I need recognition that I exist. And she was the one who confirmed it to me. That I truly exist, about my life has a meaning. She was so happy about it. And besides this, during Shironoten, her era, I miss her. Yeah, she showcased it to one of her videos, and I I was really happy about it. It's my first time being liked by certain someone, um, and that's why quite heartbroken, but quite breaking that heart. But she promised to us that even during ups and downs, that we will stand up, we will be happy about ourselves. So even to this day, I'm still following her wishes. That's why now it's kind of sad though. Even though I want her back, but I want her to be satisfied with her life. But same time, it's my selfishness, I guess, that I want her back in this. I want to meet her again. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's time to end the stream. Sorry for that. Kind of an emotional turmoil for me to share this thing. It's nice, everyone. I'd also like to take care of me in the future, because I won't know what happened in the future. And I'd at least want someone to watch over me at this thing. Good night, everyone, and I'm sorry for the sad story. Good night.